5 wild stories shared by Millionaires drivers. 1. Billy Bob Thornton's $5,000 smokes. Thornton was doing radio press for a movie. He had to stop by 6 or 7 radio stations for interviews. He wanted to have a cigarette in the vehicle on the way. The driver told him there was a no-smoking policy. Thornton asked him to call the owner and ask if he'd make an exception. The owner said no, and that he'd be charged a $250 cleaning fee. Thornton asked to stop by a bank. He came out, handed the driver $5,000 in cash, and said,
"Here's for the whole goddamn pack."
He smoked in the car the rest of the trip. Driver:
Is that the most expensive pack of cigarettes you've ever smoked?
Thornton.
Not even close.
2. Skiing for Russian oligarchs. A chauffeur was driving around an oligarch's daughter in Rublevka. It's the wealthiest suburb outside Moscow. One day, she mentioned that she liked to ski. The chauffeur asked which kind of skiing she preferred, downhill or cross-country. Her answer:
My favorite kind of skiing is the type where you jump out of a helicopter.
3. A night of secret partying. A country club member hired a driver for a night. The driver picked the guy up at 8 p.m. Right off the bat, the guy handed him $200. He went to a bar for a little bit, then gave the driver another $200. He then proceeded to visit several bars. Between them, he bought and snorted cocaine. He also picked up a woman and had sex with her. Every time, he'd give the driver another $200 or $100. At 3 a.m., the guy said he wanted to go to the beach. He went into the water up to his ankles in his shoes. He threw a bunch of rocks into the water and then sat in the sand for about 45 minutes. He came back to the car and asked to be driven home. In the end, he hugged the driver, gave him $500, and asked him to never tell anyone what happened. 4. Rich people's problems. A chauffeur was driving 2 country club guys to the airport. One of them started complaining about his wife. Apparently, they would always fight over who gets the jet every weekend. They also couldn't agree on where they wanted to go. The other guy replied,
"Well, my third jet is actually just gathering dust right now since my son went to college. Want to take it off my hands?"
They shook on it right there in the car. 5. A guy visits his mobster cousin's wedding. This story took place in Chicago in the late 1960s. Several family members were being driven to a wedding reception. On the way to the hotel, they were stopped 8 times by police officers. The officer would walk up to the driver's window. The chauffeur would reach into a money bag and pass a bill to the officer. Nothing would be said, and they'd take off again. Eventually, the guest asked his cousin if the cops were being bribed. His cousin laughed and said,
"Nah, it's Thursday. That's when we pay our boys."